Yeah, salute to all the Patreon members. Want to thank you guys for your support, all the subscribers, all the new viewers. Man, I want to thank you guys for your support. I really do. Check out the links in the description box below for the Patreon page. Right there below. I posted up several videos throughout my time in Panama last week. All right, so don't forget to check those out. Don't forget to check out some of the pictures, some of the videos, some of the old videos. Now I need to look up my total videos on Patreon. I got a lot. I've been posting up on Patreon since I want to say 2021 for about 4 years now. Right? I think I started uploading on Patreon when I was living in Taiwan. For those that have been around long enough, y'all remember I had the beach house. Well, not the beach house. I had the beach condo in Taiwan. I used to live off Dam Shui, right there on the beach. I used to show videos of like the beach right there. Now, I didn't have the best view of the beach because it was a building in front of me, but on the side, you could see the water, right? I should have moved into the building on the other side, but excellent place, lots of palm trees. You know, when you add in the palm trees, even though they imported, it make the place look exotic. That's when you had the motorcycle. No, I had the scooters. I had the Yamaha NMAX. No, excuse me. No, I had the NMAX, the all black NMAX. That's my favorite scooter. Right? Even though there were better scooters, that was my favorite one because the screen, like it was kind of matte black in certain areas, and then it had that smooth texture on certain areas. It was just right. I love that bike. I love that bike. Right. J Bones, remember? Right. That's when I think that's when J Bones first heard of me around about January, February of 2021. Salute the scant dollar. And thank you for the $1.99 super sticker. So you could check out a lot of those old videos and that footage from back in the gap on this channel on Patreon. I still got some of those old videos saved on here. I just gotta take them all private and put them on listed. You know, me walking around the area. I still got those videos. Me walking around the neighborhood I used to live in Taipei. All right. Check out the link in the description box below for the Facebook page too. All right. Yeah, I'm trying to put a down payment on a tank scooter a tank scooter. What do you mean? What's a tank scooter? What's the brand? I'm not familiar with that term. A tank scooter? What brand? Like a Chinese tank scooter? I never heard of that term, a tank scooter. I Googled it right now, but I've never seen. I see a Sanyo tank scooter 150cc. The all black one don't look that bad. But yeah, I had the black NMAX in Taiwan. Then when I moved back to Thailand, I got the X Max. That's when I stepped it up. Tanks are the New York popular scooter now. It's what everyone uses in New York. They call them tanks. Tank scooters. Let me put tank scooters NY. Oh, okay. So I guess they use them for DoorDash and Uber Eats and Postmates and stuff like that. The delivery scooters. Yeah, man. You better off owning a scooter if you live in New York, right? You better don't get a vehicle. Don't ride the subway. Just get a scooter. I think they got lanes for the scooters also. All right. But anyways, I want to talk about being a provider versus being a trick overseas, right? Passport bros. Providing versus tricking. Okay. Flywing mopeds, they real dope. Oh, let me look that up. Flywing mopeds. Okay, yeah. Flywing moped 150cc. Yeah, they about $600. Right? Zip through traffic. Just got to be on your P's and Q's at all times. Looking around, watching people, watching other vehicles. But mopeds are the wave and the automatic. So, you don't have to get stuck in gear or whatever with a manual. But let's get into it. The difference between being a provider male versus being a trick. And some people, they might use the term trick and simp interchangeably. And the difference between a trick and a simp is like a simp and a trick is not really one and the same. They can be, but they're not one and the same. Right? A simp is more verbal. Right? You could be a simp just based off of the words that are coming out of your mouth. A trick, you're not a trick based off of the words coming out of your mouth. You're a trick based off of it's an action, right? You just coming out the pocket. All right. A trick is somebody who uses their money to overcompensate their insecurities. All right. I've seen guys talking about, hey man, out here in America, I'm African, so I have to come out the pocket. I've heard Africans say that. Hey man, I'm short. I gotta come out the pocket. I've heard short guys say that. Hey man, I'm dark skinned. I really gotta come out the pocket. I've heard guys say this before. So a trick and a simp, a trick can be a simp, right? A simp can be a trick, but it's not one and the same. They could be both, but it's not one and the same. All right. But providing versus tricking, right? In both of these is about timing, right? To be viewed as a provider, when you're trying to provide too soon, too early, and you're too thirsty to show somebody that you're a provider, you come across as a trick. And a woman looks at you totally different, right? So this is AI on the screen right here. It's an AI photo. I typed in rich black man spoils his Latina girlfriend. All right. A brother could be looked at. See, when you're a provider, there's a level of attraction there and a level of respect there that a woman respects, right? Foday Sankau, if she's not providing you peace or even trying to, then you are definitely a trick. If she's faking it and fall quick, then you're a simp. If she's not providing you peace or even trying to, then you are definitely a trick. Well, we're going to get to that in a second. All right. We're going to get to that in a second. If she's faking it and fall quick, then you're a simp. No, we're going to get to that in a second, but I appreciate you chiming in. Providers, you have to work on your timing when it comes to being a provider. All right. And every woman I said that right. Every woman is not to be provided for. Okay. Every woman is not to be provided for. Mind you, I don't have any notes. I'm just speaking off of the top of the dome. In this video, all my videos, right? I just love talking. Every woman isn't to be provided for. Okay. You got some women out here that it's like, you're timing everything right, but they're asking things of you too soon, right? It's too desperate, too soon. And she sounds like one of these bad luck chicks that are out here that you're dealing with. That's not somebody you provide for. Okay. Because y'all just met. It's something this week Then it's going to be something next week. Then it's going to be something next week. And then she's going to up the ante. It's going to be $50 this week. Then it's going to be $100 next week. Then it's going to be $300 the next week. And then next month it's going to be $500. And then soon enough, she's asking you for $20,000. All right. That is not a woman to be provided for. All right. That is a woman who wants a sugar daddy. That is a woman who wants a sugar daddy. She wants money out of a man, but doesn't know how to get money out of a man. She doesn't know how to use her femininity and her charm to get money out of a man. She wants to be a gold digger, but she's not a good gold digger. Most women today are not good gold diggers. All right. The gold digger died in the 90s, early 2000s. There are no gold diggers out here, especially black females. There are no gold diggers out here nowadays. They're only beggars and shamers. That's it. And they do both, begging and shaming. That's all they do. A cute young woman, they don't know how to get money up out of a man. All right. So a woman who's coming out the gate too early, too soon, begging for money, down on her luck, and you just met her, right? And that's a major turnoff for me. That might work on a man who doesn't really get women his way too often, and she's very pretty or she's cute. That might work on him. It don't work on me. It don't matter. I don't care how fine you are. If you asking for too much too soon, you'll speak to my breeze. I never want to speak to you again. I don't care how fine you are. There's been a lot of fine women that have came my way asking me for things, asking me for money, asking me to take care of some bill, right? Oh, my phone's going to get cut off. I need $500. What you got a $500 bill for? What are you talking? No. I make monthly payments on this phone. Okay, well, pay your bill then. Right? Those are women that you don't provide for. Or you don't, especially you don't trick on. All right. Another group of women that you don't really, there's nothing wrong with providing for these women, but these women, you have to be tactful when it comes to providing for them or when it comes to tricking on them if that's what you want to do. Okay. The strong, independent, I don't need a man for shit woman, right? Some of these women, you can tell within their birthdays that you shouldn't be providing for these women too heavy, right? You shouldn't try too hard to provide for these women. It's almost counterintuitive to try to provide for these women because it's like it takes away the strength that she has when you get her that car, right? When you paying the bills for the house, when you paying the bills for her car, you just paying for everything. Some of these women, you just got to let them get their own and keep your bills separate, right? Keep your living situation separate. You don't try to build a family with a headstrong, strong, independent woman. Some of these women, they tend to be born on the 1st, the 10th, the 19th, the 28th. Some of these women tend to be born on the 4th, the 13th, the 22nd, or the 31st. Some of these women tend to be born on the 7th, the 16th, and the 25th. Why are those birthdays so important? Right? Because when you add those numbers up, they break down into 1, 4, and 7. Okay? Number 1 in numerology, that's the masculine energy. These are your leaders. Okay? These are your supervisors. These tend to be kind of people, people that want to lead, independent. That's that masculine energy. So women with the number 1 in their birthdays, they have that masculine energy, right? They want to have the freedom of independence. There's nothing wrong with you providing things here and there, but you don't want to provide too much because then that's kind of like a slight to them. And then you you ever try to give a woman like a nice gift or something they've been working hard for, and then you just kind of provide that for them? And then all of a sudden later on, they just have a real nasty, disgusting attitude. Like, where did that come from? And then when you try to check her on that attitude, the first thing she does is give you that gift back, right? Especially if it was an expensive purchase that she couldn't get herself, or she did not get herself, that she didn't, that was a goal she was trying to accomplish, and she wasn't able to get that for herself. Like, oh fuck, here a man came through and ruined it for me. I'm supposed to be able to brag and say, hey, I did this for myself, no man helped me. I was able to provide this for myself with nobody's help. I'm the superwoman. I'm a strong, independent woman. I didn't need a man for this. But if you're a man that got her that car, you're a man that got her that house, you're a man that got her that jewelry, you're a man that got her those shoes, you're a man that got her those clothes or whatever materialistic item that she was trying to obtain, right? And you kind of stepped in and say, surprise, happy birthday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, right? Happy anniversary. And you got that for her. Some of these women, when you provide gifts like that, later on down the line, it's like it'll be soon enough. They have a fucking attitude. You be like, hold on, where is this coming from? Watch your mouth, how you fucking speak to me. The first thing they do is drop that laptop at your doorstep. They drop them car keys at your doorstep, right? They move out because they didn't accomplish that on their own, right? You taking a shot at her independence. Some of these women, you have to be able to read who they are before you just start thinking you're going to come in and provide for things, right? Women like that, you fall into the trick category. It's a gift, right? And then when you give that gift to a woman who has that strong, independent mindset, it's like you mean fuck all to them. They would rather get with somebody that can't provide nothing, knowing that, okay, I'm still out here doing this myself, I'm getting it myself, than a man who can provide everything, because it's counterintuitive. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Man, I'm speaking. Come on now. Come on now. Where have you heard this on the internet? Who have you heard speak on this on the internet? I'm preaching right now, right? So you just can't provide and trick on everybody, right? Some women, all you can do is provide dick and let them get it on their own. The number 4 energy is the workaholic. They're not the smartest, right? 4s represent law. It represents work. These are your hard workers. These are the workers that'll work 20 hours, go home and sleep for 3 and come back and work another 20. All right. They're not the brightest, but they're the workaholics, right? These women, especially the 22nd, if they were born on the 22nd, that's a master number. Those are the builders. That's an extreme 4. All right. Those women, they're all about work and business. They ain't really got time for you. I got to get this money. Okay. And your 7s are more of the intellects in numerology, but your 7s are more loners. The 7s are the loners, right? But the 7s, the intellectual, they don't know how to express their intellect. They don't even know how to express their own feelings. I dated somebody that was a 4-7. Karmic number was 4, life path number was 7. That's very difficult to date somebody that's a 4-7, right? A 3-6 is much a 6 and a 3, because 3, they're the communicators. 6, represents family. They're the homebodies. Okay. But let's get back into it. I don't want to go too far left with that. Right. I just gave y'all some really, really deep game. But the thing is, you can't provide for everybody, right? You can't provide for the independent woman. You can't provide for the bad luck chick. You can't provide for the beggars. You can't really provide for women who didn't really grow up without a father. Even if they did grow up with a father, you know, that energy in their birthdays and how feminism has affected them, that mindset, it's affected them. It could still go either way. All right. There's timing in providing, right? You have to give it some time before you start providing. And with a passport, we tend to go to countries where, you know, we'll just say the average salary is a lot less than what women are making in America. Okay. They taking it day by day. I told y'all, people that live out in the countryside outside of Panama City, in Panama, they don't have water 7 days a week. They only have water Monday through Friday. Then Saturday and Sunday, their water gets cut off. They have no water. They can't take a shower. They can't wash their hands. They can't wash their ass. They have to save water throughout the week. So when they shit and piss on the weekend, it's like they got to pour buckets down the toilet. Their water gets cut off on the weekend. You see what I'm saying? This poor living right here. When I was in Panama, a lot of women didn't even have data on their phone. Most women that I met did not have data on their phone. I don't think I met one woman. Even hold on. You remember this? If y'all was paying attention to the live stream yesterday, this woman right here. Hold on. Wait a minute. I showed y'all this woman right here. I blurred out her eyes. I hooked up with her back in February. As fine as she is, she did not have data on this phone right here. This phone that she's holding in her right hand right here, she did not have data on her phone. I had to turn on the hotspot on my phone so that she could use data on her phone. This woman was walking around with no data. As fine as they are, they don't have any data on their phone in Panama. I did not meet one woman who had data on her phone. All right. So, brothers, man, when we step in, you have to know when to be like, hey, you with me now. I want to make sure you good, right? You talking about, hey, I'm leaving here early in the morning today. I'm going to work. I'll be back at this time tonight. I don't have any data. There's Wi-Fi at the location that I'm at, but I can't really be on my phone. So on my lunch break, I'll be able to text you. Right? When they on their way back home, they can't call you. They can't respond to you at all. So the messages are kind of, and I'm just not somebody who wants to just stay stuck on my phone all day texting somebody. I got things to do. Right? Yeah, they have no data. Dimes have no data in Panama. And then you find out for them to have data, it's only like $10 a month. Right? All right, we'll be here, J Bones. It's only $10 a month. You're like, hey, look, you with me now. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I don't ever want to hear about you don't ever just got here splash. We're talking about Panama. I'm telling stories, but the topic is providing versus tricking overseas. Passport Bros. The hell was that explosion? Did y'all hear that? Something exploded. Anyways, I lost my train of thought. That was loud as hell. Anyways, in when you're dealing with some of these women in third world countries, right? It don't matter. It doesn't have to be in Latin America. It could be in China, it could be Asia, it could be in Africa. You find out that, hey man, these women, it's like data on their phone is like $10, $20 a month. It's like, hey, look, don't worry about that. I got it. You with me now? I got it. They can't even afford Netflix. Hey, don't worry about it. Log into my account, change the password. Change the password. Hey, here's a login. Here's the password. Log in. Enjoy. Some of these women, they be sitting at the house like this. Hold on. Some women, you talk to them, they might be a good girl. They come from a two-parent household, right? They don't go out like that. They ain't got no data. They don't have no Netflix. They don't have a Nintendo Switch. So when they get back home from work or they get back home from school, they be sitting at home just like this. This is all they do. No air conditioner, no water, no data. This is all they do when they get home. They be sitting on the bed just like that. All right. Bored, waiting on you. So there's timing to everything. You don't just meet somebody and say, hey, look, I got it. All right. See what it is that they're doing for themselves first. That's number one. What are you doing for yourself? All right. Some of them, like a 10-minute Uber ride is like an hour and a half bus ride for them, 2-hour bus ride for them. Hey, look, I got enough for you to take the taxi to get to work, to take to school, but it's timing. All right. I had women that when we first met, they didn't ask me to book an Uber for them. They said, hey, look, I got to take the bus. So it's going to take me this long. So I'll meet you over here at this time. I said, okay. Right. And I respected that because they didn't ask for an Uber. They could have asked for an Uber. I wouldn't have looked at them differently, but they didn't ask, they didn't demand it. It's like, hey, this is my life. The money that I have, the budget that I have for the bus to get to work, to get to school, whatever, I'll just cut into my budget to see you and go back home. I can respect that. All right. I can respect that. See what she can do for herself first. Is she feeding herself? Right? Does she have enough money to get to and from where it is that she's going for herself first? Okay. Does she have enough clothes for herself first? Right? Does she have enough for her makeup and stuff like that first? Right? Does she have enough money for her work or her school uniform first? Is she able to entertain herself while she's at home on her own first? Let that ride for a month or two. All right. They don't ask for anything. They're not begging for anything. They're not making demands for you. See, when you meet a woman and a woman is saying, "Hey, I'm down on my luck. I need this, that, and the third. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this?" You just might be with a prostitute. It's like, "Hey, look, this how I make money right here, begging, you know, either 2 feet in the game or you got 1 foot in the game, right?" And what they're doing is like, "Hey, look, you provide all this shit for me, and I won't fuck nobody else. I don't really need you for that. That's not really what I'm looking for, right?" Especially when you match with somebody you haven't even been there yet, because then your tab, you fuck around, especially if you tricking, you done ran up your trick tab so high, and you haven't even been to this country yet. You've only matched, and you've already spent $700-800 already. That would have gotten you 8 women in a country like Panama. That would have gotten you probably um $800, right? That would have gotten you like damn near 40 women in Thailand, probably 100 in the Philippines. God knows how much you would have gotten for that in the Dominican Republic or in Colombia. That's tricking and not thinking. See, you're not thinking when you're tricking. You so insecure, you caught up in your emotions, you're not even thinking. You're not, see, tricks, they don't time anything. They just come out the gate with their money. Like, damn, I just met you. Hey, look, you know, they start bragging all the things that they have. They start showing women their cars, their motorcycles. I know a couple of tricks, man. They've shown women their bank accounts. And you think, okay, a woman in Africa, a woman over in Asia, a woman over in Latin America, they're gonna be impressed by that. It don't matter how much money you have. Women do not like tricks. They'll use a trick, and if a trick ain't really giving them what they want in the moment, they'll let them go and get with somebody poor, because that's a turnoff for them. Because all you're doing is projecting your insecurities. And women just like, I don't want to be with somebody who's insecure. I want to be with somebody who's confident. That's what I want. I want a confident man. A trick is not a confident man. That's why tricks get used and abused all the time. Your energy is off. But a provider, it's like, hey man, I have to pace myself. Okay, we've been talking for a while now. I've let her get away with her telling me that I ain't got no data, so it'll be this time before I hit you up. Look here, how much is this data thing? We've been together long enough. We've been talking long enough. How much is this data? You look it up. It's like $10, $20 a month. Hey, look, I'm gonna go into your account. I'm gonna put a card on that account, and I'm gonna have it recurring. All right. Don't worry about data no more, because I know in emergency situations, you don't need to run to some building for help, right? Or if you need to contact somebody, and if it's an emergency, you can't run in no building for Wi-Fi and ask them what's their password and explain to them that it's an emergency. No, just here's the data. I got you. All right. You don't need to brag about how much money you got. You don't need to brag about what you done bought within the last couple of months. You don't need to brag about all your shoes that you got. You don't need to brag about what you own or how much you got in the bank. Only thing you need to do is like, hey, look, I got this. Don't worry about it. Cool. What do you do in your free time? I'm on, you know, I'm on TikTok and I don't really go out anywhere. I just sit at home. Just like, so you don't watch any shows, anything like that? Don't have cable. Don't really have like, I mean, we got Wi-Fi, whatever, but I just watch what I can on YouTube. You don't have no Netflix? Nah, just once I start working, I'm in school now. Once I start working, I'll be able to have Netflix. But I mean, is there any shows out there that you've seen that the trailers that look interesting to you? Yeah, there's several shows, but once I start working, which I'll probably start working around about February or March, then I'll probably be able to get Netflix and be able to catch up with everybody and the shows that they talk. Nah, 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 no. Look, hold on, hold on. All right, don't worry about it. I got you. All right, here's my login information. We can watch shows together. I mean, not at the same time, of course, but you know, you ain't got to sit at home and the only form of entertainment is just YouTube and TikTok. All right, I got you. Don't worry about it. Here you go. All right. Now, I'm taking baby steps right here. All right. All this can be taken away when things don't work out. All right. This isn't tricking. Right. I'm not breaking the bank for somebody like this right now because me taking steps like this, they've earned this. I know a lot of women in America just like, oh, it's like you dealing with bitches that can't even get their own Netflix. They ain't got no water. They don't have data on their phone. Hey man, some women, when you do stuff for them like this, they're appreciative of it. And they show their appreciation. Right? You do something for women in America, they're not impressed with nothing. It actually takes a stab at their independence. They get offended that you do something for them. They act excited and happy in the moment, but then they got an attitude a week later, and the first thing they want to do is give back whatever it is that you've done for them. I've had that happen to me several times. Trips, gifts, outings. Them women, they don't care. You booked flights, you booked Airbnbs, you booked restaurants, and they'll disrespect. They'll be like, man, fuck all this. I'll book an overnight flight to go back home. You're like, for what? You took a stab at their pride providing all this shit for them, and you did it too soon for somebody that did not deserve it. You have to peep and see if the people you're dealing with deserve this kind of treatment. Everybody, you don't just give them this type of treatment thinking you're providing and they're not worthy of what it is that you're providing. You can really only provide for feminine women, right? You can only talk about houses, cars, and doing things together with feminine traditional women. You can't do that for independent women just because they fine. Because when they start talking, they don't talk about us. They talk about them. They say, I want a house. I want to get this car. I want a baby. I want this. I want this. They don't say, hopefully in the future, we will be in a position where we can get a house. We can get another vehicle. We should be on our first child by then. We can move into a different location. They don't say we, they say I. And remember that interview I told you with Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Stephen A. Smith? They said something that Dr. Dre was like, look, man, people tell you who they are. You just got to listen. If you're listening to these women that you're dealing with overseas, you don't have to question whether, hey, me providing for this woman, is this, is my money going to waste? Is my efforts going to waste, or is she appreciative of it? And hey, sometimes, man, you can find a feminine woman, no body count, marriage minded, two-parent household, eats dinner with their family every single night, never been out anywhere, never had sex with nobody, young, beautiful, smart. You could nurturing, you could find that and provide for that for somebody like that, and it could still all go to hell. It could still all go to shit later on. That's just the life we live. And then you feel betrayed. That's just the life we live. All right. You'll never find the right one. But at least your filtering process could be a little bit better this time around. You see what I'm saying? We'd have made the mistakes before. Now we're moving forward with a different mindset. All right. So then you start doing little things, helping out. Like, hey, look, I'm seeing you're doing this for yourself. You're not asking me for anything, right? I know that some women that are feminine, they just kind of wait they're not waiting to see what you're going to do for them. Hey, whatever you feel is best for us. If you feel it's best for me to have this, especially if you're offering some cash, right? Something monthly for her to hold on to. A lot of these women, they don't even ask for an amount. They'll say, hey, look, you can ask, hey, look, I know you've been working. We've been talking for a while. You don't always have to, get on the bus and take transfer to get back home. I know some days, especially Fridays, you just want to get home and relax, right? You just want to get home as soon as possible and relax. You don't want to be stuck in the rain. You don't want to be stuck outside. You just want to get home. Look, and there's still taxis over there, right? Look, let me give you a couple dollars, something that can hold you, right? Get you a good meal. Let me give you a couple dollars so you're not really, you don't have to go for your parents for anything. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Focus on what we got going on. Give your parents a break. All right. So do you know where the closest Western Union is? How do you want the money sent? They don't have Cash App or PayPal. They'll hold it in some of these countries, right? Now, hopefully there's somebody that's serious that you see often. No, don't just do it for anybody, especially for somebody you never met, right? Only start doing this. Timing is everything. Make sure y'all have met first. Make sure there's, chemistry between the two of y'all first, right? Make sure y'all have met a couple of times first on different occasions, different trips first. See if she can provide for herself. What is she doing for herself? And what is her goals? You see what I'm saying? Then you could step in and be like, oh, okay, she's not begging. She didn't ask me for anything. Cool. Now I think I'm at a point. She got data, right? She got her little Netflix. She got her internet. Now it's time to, if this is my baby right here, she needs to look apart. She needs to be comfortable with me, right? I'm not just gonna, not provide anything. She's providing me with conversation. She's providing me with her beauty. She's providing me with her nurturing skills. When I've came into the country, she's cooked for me. She's shown up when I needed her to. She's nice. She's kind. She done told her family about me, right? Introduced me to the family already. I'm not asking for much from her. I mean, we don't ask much from women, right? Most of the time, we just ask for women to be nice, kind, and considerate. But that's very hard for a lot of women, especially in America and Canada and Europe, to do that, right? She's shown her consideration. She's not selfish. So look here. All right. Now, I think it's time for you to have some money in your pocket. All right. You're working, but I know your job is only paying you $600 a month, right? You're in school. I know your family can only give you but so much money per month, right? Your shoes is this many years old. Your backpack is this many years old, right? You eating cheese and crackers when at lunch. Hey, it's okay for you to get to sit down and have a meal somewhere, a nice meal somewhere sometimes. It's okay. I got you. All right. You figure out what type of money transfer you want to send. It's like, hey, look, I know there's distance, but I got you. How much you need? And this is the answer right here. All right. This will tell you this is a woman who deserves to be provided for. Right. If she gives you a numerical amount, then I would raise an eyebrow. I had a woman tell me, she said, look, I'm paraphrasing what she said. She said that, whatever amount you feel is best, okay? Whatever amount you feel is best for me that you think I need, you could send it. I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to be inconsiderate or rude and tell you an amount, right? Whatever you think is best for me that I need, go ahead and send it. Right? That's a green flag right there. When somebody telling you, yesterday they told you 300 and be like, okay, I'll send it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes like, hey, can you send 600 instead? Like, wait, hold on. That's somebody that does a beggar doesn't really want to do for themselves, right? You don't see, especially when they're dealing with somebody black. See, they're trying to find a trick, a good trick. I'm not a trick. Your femininity will attract a good provider, right? Your femininity will attract a good provider. You don't have to ask for a numerical amount. Some people, that amount, even if your mind, you say, hey, look, $1,000 would be nice in my bank account. I mean, I ain't gonna ask that much, but shit, man, if I ever had $1,000, shit, right? Eventually, some guys will provide that for you one day, without you even having to ask that, but somebody begging it, somebody demanding, and then you obliging to that demand or that request, now you become a trick, right? Because soon as you say, nah, I ain't gonna be able to do all that, then that's when they don't even answer your messages. That's when they're gonna cut you off, right? And there's a difference between a sugar daddy, a sugar baby, and a trick, right? Tricks is like it's quick, fast. Everything is quick, fast, and it's transactional right away. As soon as y'all meet, hey, can you send me this? Wait a minute, I just matched with you on here. I haven't even. My flight isn't until 2 weeks from now. Like, you asking me for hundreds of, no. I can give less to women who look better than you. No. Where's your money? right? But a woman who's not a provider is somebody, a woman to be provided for. They don't. It's nice to have your money. It's comfortable if they had your money, but they want your time. They want your text messages. They want to hear your voice. They want to see you on the video call, on the FaceTime. They want you inside of them. They want to be laid up in the bed with you, candle lit, while they rubbing on your chest. That's what they want. They don't care about no money. I mean, they want you to work. Yeah. Money is the last thing on their mind. All right. And things change. People's preferences, their relationship palette, it changes after a while. Some women, it's kind of like, in the beginning, it was all about love. Now I kind of want a little bit of money now. Hey, people outgrow certain preferences that they have. Things change, people come and go. You always want to keep your options open. All right. But let me tell you, man, the difference between a provider and a trick is a provider is somebody with a certain level of confidence that's not using their money to overcompensate their insecurities. That's a provider. It's timing and it's how you carry yourself. And you can tell the difference between a woman who is to receive your provision, your support, and a woman who's just begging and making demands from you. You know the difference, right? Because these women that are begging, they're different than prostitute. See, a good hoe, a good street hoe, they not even they not even bringing up money. They know, okay, if we in this environment, they either have their advertisement out, depending on where you meet them, like at a place like Cafe Photos in Panama, which is shut down now, right? A place like that, them women, they not telling you, they're not throwing a price at you. They sitting down, the environment, they give good conversation. What is this? The art of touch, kinesthetics. The kinesthetics is flowing. They rubbing your arms, they rubbing your shoulders. Y'all damn near look like a spicy couple. They make you feel like, okay, we're just hot and in love together, and you know what we're here for. So eventually, like, if you want this, I could charge you this much to go back to the room, right? But in the moment, they know how to give you the horny girlfriend experience, not a horny slut experience, a horny girlfriend experience. The conversation is flowing, drinks is flowing. See, a lot of these women that are not to be provided for, they beg. It's like it's a turn off from the gate. A good hoe, a good prostitute, it's like it's not a turn off when the conversation of money comes about, and it doesn't come about right away. Man, you got to do another detailed video about how terrible Asian women are. I don't know how to master that. I can't just put a caption on YouTube saying this is how terrible Asian women are. No, it's just, I'm not going to say they're terrible. I'm just going to say they're not my preference. Right? But would I put a caption like that on, would I talk about stuff like that on Patreon? Sure. But I'm not going to, I don't know how to word that. Now, if there's a wild story that comes out in Asia or Thailand or South Korea that I find interesting, then I could break that down tactfully. But I'm just not gonna get on the internet. I'm not gonna get on the internet and you know, make a video like that. Hold on right quick. Okay, let me know if you like it. I'm liking it. Hold on, hold on. Hold on, right quick. Okay, my bad. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? I think I've said everything that I wanted to say. I think I've said anything I wanted to say. I don't think I need to do a part 2. Right? I understand you got to protect your channel, but you made me realize I was wrong. I used to love Asian women, but after talking to you and thinking about my experience with them, it's cooked as a black man. I mean, that's not a disappointment, because if you're over here in America, you're saving your money from traveling all the way to Asia, right? How are you going to build a relation? That's very difficult, building a long distance. I know everybody just doesn't want a relationship that goes over there, but that's very difficult to kind of meet somebody and then wait a long time and then see them again. And then you got this connection, and the connection isn't really, it might not be that real. And for somebody to maintain a long distance connection with you like that, it might mean that, they're lonely, or they can't find a man within their society. They're over 25. Men have deemed them as no good. They're upset about that. And all they can get is you. And they're insecure about that, even though they like you, but they know, okay, this was at best you can get is this, right? And they're too old and they're stubborn, and then they have mood swings, and they take their mood swings out on you. And these mood swings tend to come out when right before you're about to go visit and see them, then they block you, and then they unblock you, and it's right. And then it's like I could go on for days, right? It's best that I don't think that's a bad thing, because look at the variety of different women you get coming to Latin America, right? Look how close some of these countries are. Look how close the DR is. Look how close Mexico is. Look how close El Salvador is. Look how close. And you guys can check out some of these other countries that brothers don't talk about. Ecuador, Belize. Well, if I were you, I would go to countries with lower crime rate, right, in South America. But look, man, like a flight from where I live to Panama City is like 3.5 hours. That's a day trip. And then I still get up, get out, and do something for the rest of the day. Why are you brothers are making 24-hour, 25-hour flights, and that's just a flight. You got to get there early enough to go through customs, to go through these checkpoints. So people tend to get to the airport 2 hours early. I live an hour away from the airport. So if my flight is in the morning on a weekday, I have to leave 3 hours early before my flight to get there within 2 hours. Find a parking space, go in, take the bus all the way to the airport. Now it's an hour and a half, go through checkpoints, right? Wait an hour and 15 minutes before my flight takes off. Then there's a delay. They got to rearrange the luggage in the cargo area. Then the flight takes off. Now it's another 24 hours before you land. Now you got jet lag. Now you don't want to do anything as soon as you get there. Now the next day you go out, she got an attitude. It's like, man, for what? Take that 2-hour flight. Take that 3-hour flight. Panama for the win, to be honest. Good infrastructure, USD, good economy, close to US, Afro population and culture, and it's pretty safe. It's a little expensive versus other places, but it's better. Hey, man, you know, some countries just not for everybody. Brothers have been on here and said, hey, you know, I went to that country and I don't really vibe and mesh well with the women there. You know, pick a country that's best fitting for you. This last trip, I was really going to charge Panama to the game until like the second to last day, right? I met back up with old girl that I met up with. Well, I met up with two women that I met up with 6 months ago back in February. But remember, old girl, me and her, we had that misunderstanding. But, you know, we talked it out. Everything is good. Her parents know about me and stuff like that. Now, that doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. Brothers, you know, brothers have had relationships with women where the woman told them they thank God that they met a man like them, and it all still fell to shit. All right, so you always want to keep your options open. All right, but you know, Panama, I always feel like, hey man, cafe photos was in the clutch, right? As long as I got cafe photos, then it don't matter if women are pump faking or not. I got cafe photos to go to every single night. I'm good. But they shut it down. Brothers are saying that there's other places that they've opened. I didn't see them. Hopefully I see them the next time. But cafe photos, some of the baddest women I've ever seen in my life was there. You don't care if some girl is too tired to meet up with you. There's a dime at the club that's only charging $100 to ride me for the whole night. Want it? All right. So things came in clutch when you know. Now they shut that down. So you know, you pretty much got to be a little bit sharper, you know, be a little bit sharper and know where know where to go, know who to talk to, right? And if that don't work out for you, you can go to a different country where you mesh with the women a little bit better, right? There's countries, some of these countries, man, they you know, they want them a foreign man, right? And they want a foreign man because, man, if you look at the domestic violence in some of these countries, some women, they tend to like kind of fall back from a lot of the men that surround them. All right. So, and when you think you found somebody that's somewhat sort of level headed, right? Hey man, I'm not stingy. I don't mind providing a couple dollars to a woman. I'm not greedy. What I look like out here, I'm riding Kawasaki, I'm riding BMW, I'm riding Chevy trucks, right? 80-inch, two 80-inch TVs in the crib, OLED, right? I'm living like this, and then you got somebody who, you know what I'm saying, they don't even have running water on the weekend. Hey man, you can provide. You can provide your support, right? You don't have to throw everything away, but it's how you provide. Because you come across as desperate, like, hey man, if I show her how much money I got, if I show her that if I buy this, that, and the third for her, she really gonna fuck with me and think, hey man, I got that bag. So she like, nah, some women, they feel, okay, this guy is insecure about something. It's a little bit too much too fast. Like he barely even know me. Right? Even the poorest woman knows that. Right? They might use you to their advantage, but that doesn't build attraction. All right. Does anybody else got any more comments or questions? Does anybody else got something they want to talk about? Speak now, forever hold your peace. I know there's a delay. So check out the link in the description box below for the Patreon page. I'm going to chop it up some more. I want to go out riding tonight. What's the weather like? I want to ride a little bit tonight. I don't even have a weather app. Weather. Okay, ain't no rain. Just okay. It's like 80 degrees, 92% humidity. Feels like 85. Damn. I feel like riding tonight. I feel like going to the gun range tomorrow. I really want to ride all the way to San Antonio. Right, but I have a 900. See, my 300 can make it all the way to San Antonio. I could drive from San Antonio and back on one tank of gas on my 300, but my 900, I won't make it all the way to San Antonio. So you got to stop and fuel, and then the seat kind of, it's comfortable for a short ride, but it's like, it feels a little uncomfortable after a while. What's she talking about? Okay. Sometimes, man, you just like, sometimes, man, it's like, I don't, listen, I got to do a whole video talking about Offset. In his latest album, he talked about how it seemed like it was a message directed at Cardi B. He was like, one of the rhymes, he said, you ain't cooked us no food. All you wanted to go do was go out to Nobu, right? You just wanted to go out to eat. You ain't never cooked me no food. You ain't never made a plate for me or nothing, right? You weren't nurturing at all. You just had your little trophy wife, and you saw she wasn't a wife. I mean, she was like banging blood in the strip club, drugging and robbing men in the past. You thought, okay, if I marry her, she's going to be this wife, and she wasn't. And then what do simps and women say? Well, she Cardi B. Do you know who she is? She don't need to do all that. It's coming from a single woman, right? I done bought you gifts. I done this for you. I done that for you. Man, I'm not even asking you to buy me jewelry. I'm not asking you to buy me cars and houses. I'm not asking you to trick off on me, even though you that chick, right? All I want from you to show your love to me is to get in the kitchen half naked and cook me a meal. Show me your love, right? Cook some love for me. That's what I want. Modern women don't get that. and I think they know that. They just fuck what he wants. It don't take for you to get married and have 3 kids to realize that from a woman. All you gotta do is listen and pay attention. Don't waste your time. Don't ever get with a woman who's not willing to cook for you. I don't care how traditional she is. If she ain't cooking for you, drop her. Drop her. Because when the kids come, she gonna cook for them. Remember that one video I showed you? That woman, she said, I only cook for me and my kids. I don't cook for my husband. All right. Go ahead. Find your own place and you could cook for them all day without me being there. What's the point of me being here? I'll just pay enough child support. I'm tired of I'm tired of providing for all of y'all. I want the state to say, okay, this is for child support. That's it. So once you checked off everything on the list from a woman, at the end of the day, is she cooking for you? Right? And they don't have to cook for you every day. They don't have to cook for you morning, noon, and night. No. 3 to 4 meals a week is enough. Three to 4 dinners, or 3 to 4. It could be a mixture of both. 4. I think 4 is the 4 in numerology. 4 represents work, right? Law, work, law and order, work. 4. You put in that work for 4 meals. That could be 4 dinners. That could be 2 breakfasts and 2 dinners. That could be a breakfast. You making a lunch for me, and then here, babe, take this for you for lunch. Have a nice day. Love you. And 2 dinners. You could spread that out during the week. It ain't got to be 4 days when you cooking 12 meals. No. 4 meals. That's a magical number right there. That's a woman with a husband who's doing that. My mother cooked dinner every single night. When I was young, when I was like 5, 6, and 7, they put me in private school, right? I was in private school. Then I started going to public school when I was 8, right? So I ate my meals when I was 8 in public school. All right. That's when they just like put money on my account at the school. But 5, 6, and 7, my mother, she cooked meals for me, and it wasn't peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. My mother never cooked that shit for me when I went to school. My mother was cooking I'm talking about like fettuccine Alfredo, lasagna. Right. My mother is cooking like restaurant style Emeril Lagasse meals for me. When I got all them other kids had lunch, I never had a Lunchable going to school. I ain't never had no fucking hot dog or no Lunchable when I went to school. And you know them little sauce cups that you could put a cover over. So like, okay, this is like your barbecue sauce. You put some barbecue sauce in here in a little cup, and then you put a top on it, and you put your ranch or your blue cheese in here. You put a top on it. Yeah, and my mother sent me, I had utensils with Tupperware and sauce cups with meals going to school. And then when I come home that night, my mother cooked for all of us. She did that every night, and she worked. Right? What woman is doing that today? I'm not, you see, I'm not even asking for all of that. I'm asking for 4 meals a week, right? I take you out all the time. We in a house. I'm making sure this house is up to HOA standards. I'm cutting the grass, I'm edging, I'm trimming the bushes. I'm doing all that. I'm making sure the maintenance of the house and the maintenance of the vehicles and the maintenance of the grass is maintained. You need to make sure the maintenance of that kitchen is maintained with food and cleaning. All right. I'm making sure I'm maintaining the bills. I'm making sure that the money you make, hey, put your little money away. You know, all right, use that for the utilities. I got the mortgage and everything. Just, save it. Take the stress off you. And you can't cook 4 meals a week for me. You that selfish? All right, get lost. Take a long walk over a short bridge, and I hope you land in shark infested water. That's from Mac Dre. All right, I see the numbers are getting low. So I'll cut it off right here. You guys have a good night. I hope you guys learned something in this video. Learn how to control your emotions. And man, y'all be safe. All right. I'm over and I'm out. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.